Friends, welcome back to TBH3. I'm Walter, and today we are going to work on an octopus pattern. So the tools that we're going to need are a pair of scissors, a needle to sew in our loose ends. I really like this bent needle. I think it works really well as opposed to a straight needle. We're going to do a stitch marker because the pattern is going to be done in the round, and then two crochet hooks. I have a G hook, which is a 4.25 millimeter, and I have an I hook, which is a 5.5 millimeter hook. And then the yarn that I'll be using today is from Lion Brand, and it's the Scarfy yarn, which is a 78% acrylic, 22% wool, and I'm doing it in the cranberry black color to do the octopus. So without further ado, let's get started. I also just wanted to say that I went kayaking last weekend and got sunburn on my hands, and it's starting to peel, and underneath the sunburn I have like this nice brown, and now it's like not nice where the skin is peeling off. So just as a FYI, if you kayak, put sunscreen on your hands. That's my words of wisdom when doing outdoor activities. Sunscreen, sunscreen, sunscreen. It doesn't matter that it's May, the sun is still strong. Okay, so let's get started. We're gonna make a magic ring. We're gonna start with the G hook, and we're working on the head first. As I said, this is done in continuous rounds, so you don't have that hitch mark when you're going from like round 1 to round 2, etc. Okay, so we are making 6 single crochets in the so make a magic ring, do 6 single crochets. I like to just do like a slip stitch to anchor the ring. And I'm going to put my stitch marker in my first stitch, which is my first single crochet here. So that's 6. I'm going to pull that tight to close the ring. And then the next round is 2 single crochets in each stitch. Remove the stitch marker. Stitch marker back, so that was the first single crochet, then second single crochet in the same stitch. Back and count, make sure you have 12. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So that's the end of round 2. Round 3 is single crochet in the next stitch, 2 single crochet in the stitch after that. So again, we're increasing, so your first stitch is a single crochet. Put the stitch marker back, and then my next stitch is the increase, which is the 2 single crochet. And then the next stitch, single crochet, then 2 single crochets. Next single crochet, 2 single crochet, and single crochet, 2, single crochet, 2. And now we'll have 18 stitches. Sixteen, 18. And then for round 4, it's single crochet in the next 2 stitches and then 2 single crochet. A single crochet, single crochet, 2, and that's your repeat. So it's the 2, the increase here, 2 single crochets. This is our first single crochet of the round. Put my stitch marker back, and just do that around. And when I get to the end, I'll be back. That is the end of round 4, and we have 24 single crochets now. Round 5 is single crochet in 3 stitches. Put your stitch marker back. 2, 3. Do your increase, which is 2 single crochet in the next stitch. And you do that around, and at the end you'll have a total of 30 stitches. And I will finish this and be back. And here we are at the end of round 5 with 30 stitches. So for round 6, we're going to single crochet, excuse me, in 14, do an increase and do that twice. So we're only increasing by 2 in this round. So we'll go from 30 stitches to 32 stitches. So again, it's single crochet in 14, do an increase, single crochet in 14, do an increase for a total of 32 stitches. I'll complete round 6 and I'll be back. And here is the completed round 6 with 32 stitches. So for round 7, 8, 9, and 10, the next 4 rounds, we are not doing any increases. So it's just a single crochet in each of the next 32 stitches. So we're just adding some length to this. So this is, as I said, the head of the octopus. So again, for the next 4 rounds, 7, 8, 9, and 10, we're just doing 1 single crochet in each stitch around. And when I get finished that, I'll be back. Okay, and here we are after round 10. You can see that it is starting to cup a little, or a lot, which is okay, because that's what we want. This, again, is the top of the head, and we're working down the bottom of the head. So in round 11, we're actually starting to do our decrease. So for our decrease, we are going to single crochet, put my stitch marker back. We are going to crochet, so here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So now we're going to decrease in the next 2 stitches. So we're going to pull up a loop in the second stitch, pull through all 3 loops. This yarn is being fiddly. Okay, so that's how you do your decrease. And we're going to do that for a total of 4 times. So we'll go from 28 stitches to, we'll go from 32 stitches to 28 stitches. So it's single crochet in the next 6 stitches, decrease, single crochet in the next stitches, decrease, single crochet, decrease. So we'll end up with 28 stitches and start our decrease. And I will do that. Okay, there is my decrease, and you can see it's very subtle decrease, but you can tell that it has decreased in circumference. So round 12 is a single crochet in each stitch. So we're not decreasing this round, we're just doing 28 single crochets in each stitch around. So we'll do that, and then we'll come back for round 13. And here we are with finishing up round 12, and so round 13 is another decrease round, and this time we are doing a single crochet in 5. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, decrease, and then you're going to do that for a total of 4 times, and then we'll have 24 stitches. So it's 5 single crochet, decrease, 4 times around. And when I finish that, I'll be... And that's the end of round 13. With the decrease, you can see that, you know, your shape of your head is coming out nicely. So round 14 is a decrease round as well. And in 14, it's single crochet in 4 stitches, and then do your decrease 4 times around for a total of 20 stitches of round 14. So round 15 is single crochet in 3 stitches, and then do the decrease. And at the end of round 15, we'll start stuffing this. I'm actually going to be using poly pellets, which are little plastic pellets as opposed to fiberfill, but you certainly can use fiberfill instead of the pellets if that's what you want to use. Here's where we're going to stuff this with the pellets. So the polyfill I got in a 6-pound bag, and it has a little pour spout. So that's what it looks like with the fiberfill, and I need to add more. But I don't know if you can tell like how this just has a different feel to it as opposed to the fiber fill and not the fiber pellet. For the next round, which is round 16, we are going to do 8 decreases. So we're going from 16 stitches down to 8 stitches. So we're just going to decrease, so we're going to single crochet 2 together around. And that's round 16. And as you can see, you know, we've dramatically decreased the opening. And then for round 17, we just do 4 decreases. So we'll go from 8 stitches to 4 stitches, and that is the end of the head. Our next part we're going to be making is the mantle, which all of the legs will be attached to. And the mantle is actually done with a J hook and not an I hook. So I misspoke when we were talking at the beginning of the video. So it is a J hook that we're looking for. At this point, if you need to add some more filling, you can. So then I just like to go through and catch all of the ends. All of the loops. And pull it tight. Now as I do that, I see like there's a gap down here. And when we sew on the legs and the mantle, that'll be hidden. But in the meantime, as you saw, a little bead just popped out of there and it won't go back in. So what I'm going to do is go through and see all these little spots here is just kind of go through and tighten that up. So that my beads don't pop out. There's our head. And then you just want to finish this off. I'm just going to make a knot here, trim it, and it's done. So for the mantle, we will need a J hook, and we're going to start with a tail of 20 inches. We're going to start with a slip knot and chain 6. So again, this is the part that's going to kind of go over the octopus to give it like a realistic shape. So for row 1, we are going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook, and remember we don't count this loop. So this is the first chain, here's the second chain, and then we'll crochet across, so we'll have a total of 5 single crochets. 4 and 5. And so these are rows. So that's row 1. Row 2 is a chain 1, turn, single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 2 single crochet in the third stitch, single crochet in the next 2 stitches. So now we have 6 stitches. And we just started our increase in the middle. So row 3 is chain 1, turn. And this time we're increasing on the end, so it's 2 single crochets in this first stitch. Single crochet in each of the next 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 single crochets in the last stitch. 1, 2. So now we have 8 stitches. Row 4, chain 1, turn, single crochet in each stitch across, so it's just 1 single crochet across. 8, chain 1, and this time we're doing the increase on the ends again, so it's 1, 2, crochet in the next 6 single crochets, 2 single crochet in the last, so round 6 is chain 1, turn, and my yarn is getting darker as we go. And I think, that's because of the yarn that I chose. It is just a variegated with reds and blacks, which I like for the octopus, but on black paper it's not helpful. And I don't know that this is much better. Row 6, chain 1, turn, 2 single crochets in the next stitch, 1, 2, single crochet in the next stitch, 2 single crochets in the following stitch, single crochet in the next 4, 6, row 7 is chain 1 turn, 2 single crochets in the first stitch, single crochet in the next 2 stitches. Do it this way: increase, 2 single crochets, increase, single crochet, increase, 2 single crochets, increase, single crochet, 2 single crochet, increase, single crochet in the next 2, and then the final stitch is an increase. And you end up with 20 stitches at the end of round 7. So round 8 is the final round, and it's chain 1, turn, single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then a 2, and then an increase. And then just repeat that across. So, and we want to leave about a foot tail. And then you just pull through and then pull the tail tight. So the mantle, so I'm not sure where the video cut off, but I noticed that the video stopped, and I really wish there was some kind of timer that goes off or a warning bell that says, hey, we've stopped. So I'm not sure where we stopped. However, we finished the mantle. There will be written instructions in the description, so that way you'll be able to see or be able to read the pattern and kind of follow along as you go. So essentially we just did increases. Again, this is the mantle that will be attached to the head. We did leave like about a 12-inch tail after we finished off, and each round was an increase as we went. So the next part of this is we need to make the 8 legs because it is an octopus. Hello, as you can see, I have made 7 of the arms, 7 of the 8 arms for the octopus. So I'm going to show you how to do the last one, and then we will start the assembly of the octopus. So you want to leave a relatively long tail because we'll be using that to sew on, and then you want to chain 19, the second chain from the hook. We're going to single crochet, and we're going to do a total of 15, I'm sorry, a total of 15 single crochets, and one in each chain. And then in the last 3 stitches, you want to do 3 half double crochets. And that's it. So you just want to do that 7 more times, and you will have your 8 legs. And then again, you want to leave a relatively long tail because we'll be using the tails to assemble the octopus. So now that I have all of my legs made, I'm going to take the mantle, and then I want to lay out my legs with the tails all facing in, and I'm going to do it kind of in a semicircle pattern so I can kind of see how I want them to be. Now some of my legs have red in them and some of them are black, so I think I'm going to do like every other one so it's not like all the red are together and all the black are together. Okay, so that looks like a huge mess on the screen. But here are my 8 legs in a semicircle, and then here is the mantle that we will be sewing everything. So this part really is personal preference. You can just kind of eyeball it and start sewing the legs on, or if you want something that's more designed and design quote unquote, we can kind of find the middle here. So if we fold this in half, I know that this is my middle here, and what I want to do is I'm going to put my crochet hook here so I know where the middle is. So there's the middle. I'm going to take my leg that I want here, thread my needle, and then because I want this to be to the right of the center. And if I just don't have to have another stitch marker with me, but you could certainly use a stitch marker here. So what I'm going to do is go, because this is the front, this is the back. I'm going to take my needle from the back to the front, pull up the leg. Now that I have that, I can remove that. And now I'm going to go through the other side of here. And again, I apologize for picking this color yarn. I should have picked something else. So essentially, that's where the first leg is going to be. So from here, what I'm going to do is then start to sew this on so it's more secure. I just went across the top, and that's the half double crochet that's there. And then getting the ends. And that's on pretty securely, so I'm going to remove the needle from that end, and now I'm going to thread the second end, and I'm just going to also kind of sew it through the mantle and the leg to give it some more reinforcement. Then I'm going to weave in the ends, and I like to kind of knot these two pieces together. Do that after all of the legs have been securely added. So then the next leg I'm going to do is here, because I want it next to this one. And then you just do the same thing. And then you just want to repeat that same process of sewing, both tails to the mantle in the order that you want to do them. The next leg I'm going to attach here on the edge of the mantle, and then I will do the fourth leg on this side and kind of the middle here. And when I get all 8 legs sewn on and the tails woven in, I'll be back. Hello and welcome back. So I have sewn all 8 legs onto the mantle. Now we're going to take the string or the thread that we had left from making the mantle on the end here, and we're going to just loop it around, and we want to attach these two ends together. So we're just going to kind of sew through a couple of times to make sure it's a nice firm attachment. And then we'll just leave the tail hanging. So now we have a piece that looks like this. Here's the underneath. Back here, I'm going to remove the stitch marker at this point. Now I'm going to thread the top part, and this piece is almost just the top of the mantle. Then we're going to take that piece and now we're going to attach it to the head. We're attaching this, we want to make sure that where we had sewn the head together is kind of covered. And then we're just going to, and this is where the little bent tip is very useful when we're sewing through here. And then you're just gonna sew it on. You want to make sure it's nice and secure. I'm just going back and forth with like an overhand stitch, just along the top there. And then I'm going to remove the needle because now that that's attached, what we want to do is flip it over, thread the back piece that we left hanging, and we kind of want to center, we want to center this back piece here so it's opposite this front piece here. So when you hold it, so when I look at it, and I look like here kind of is the center, if we go up, and right about here looks good. I'm gonna pull this tight. And it's not attached yet, but I just wanted to kind of look at it to make sure that it looked good. And I do like the way it looks. So now I'm going to go through another time, and then I'm going to start attaching the side here with this yarn here. So now we're just going to kind of again do like an overcast whip stitch, I think it's called, to attach this to here. And I should have went the other way because now both of my tails are on the same side of the octopus. And then I'm just going to pull this tail through so it goes to the underneath. This tail, what I'm going to do is rethread my needle, and I'm just going to go through the center of the body so I can get back to the side that I want to be on. So now I'm going to, because I want the needle, as you can see it goes through here, because I want the needle to come out here, so I can now attach this side to that point there. And so again, having that little bend on the end of the needle makes it so much easier than if it were just a straight needle. We'll pull that bend through the center here. I will knot these two pieces. So now I have the two tails that I was just working with in the center underneath. I'm going to knot them a couple of times, weave them in, we'll add the eyes, and our octopus is complete. And so here we have the octopus with his 8 little legs, or hers. I guess mine's a boy because I said his. And then the eyes will go on the sides. Here's the mantle. So I'm going to take this bottom and put it on correctly so it snaps or not. And then flip it over and kind of work it in, and so it's attached that way. So again, the mantle is here. Let me see. So I'm going to, so it goes through the mantle, and then this is the bottom of the safety eye. And you just snap it on, flip it over. And then again, these are just the eyes that I happen to have lying around. So I would like to thank you for joining me. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. If there's anything you would like to see in the future, please let me know and I'll be happy to make a video in regards to that. Remember, always keep hooking, never stop. Peace.